Hey everybody, it's the Drunk Werewolf, and today we're going to be reacting to Michael Knowles talk about AI chatbot girlfriends and seeing what his reaction is to it. I think he's not going to like it very much, so let's get into it.
Now, speaking of hobbies, turning from good, edifying hobbies to dubious hobbies, there's a story out in the Hill. It says, AI girlfriends are ruining an entire generation of men. It's by Liberty Vittert. And I didn't even know what this meant. You know, I'm hip and I'm young and I'm cool and I talk to the kids and I got Riz and I smoke cigs behind the gym and I'm, go to the sock hop and everything. But I didn't even know what this meant. And what I learned from this column is that there are apps. There are apps that simulate girlfriends. And they've got a lot of users, like a shocking number of users. In fact, there's one gal who, she's an influencer. She's a real human being. She made an AI bot of herself named Karen and got 1,000 paying users in less than a week and a wait list of more than 15,000 people. So it's generating millions and millions of dollars. And a lot of people, many more people want to use it than even are able to use it right now. And it's not just like...
Yeah, because there's tens of thousands, well, actually hundreds of thousands of millions of men who don't have a chance at relationships and women. But there's tens of thousands that have decided because they can't get a girlfriend, they would rather have some sort of a connection through an AI chatbot girlfriend and porn than risk coming off creepy or catching a charge or something, desperately trying, being a simp, to get a girlfriend. They would rather have some sort of happiness, or what they perceive as happiness, whether you or I or any of the guys would actually do that, because I wouldn't, but I don't fault anybody who does.
They're logging in and, it's just some rote computer program. The AI learns what your desires are and then tailors its messages to your desires, mostly sexual, one would assume, but maybe some of your other inclinations and interests as well.
Yeah, kind of like a girlfriend gets to know you more sexually and in your other ways to please you, and also to know how to make you happier. And unlike girlfriends, like a bad girlfriend could do, the AI won't use it against you, whereas a woman could use it against you to get what she wants and to make herself happy, or you happy for long enough until she can divorce you, take your kids, take the house, take everything. I notice you don't want to talk about that side of what women do, because women do the same thing. Get to know you better so they can treat you better. Now, if it's for your best interest, not always. And I think every man who's watching this knows that.
The AI learns from all this to assuage the silent epidemic of loneliness that is hitting this generation of young men, according to Vittert. More than 60% of young men ages 18 to 30 are single, compared to only 30% of women of the same age. So you've got now the clear majority of men, 18 to 30, are single. That's brutal. 1 in 5 men report not having a single close friend. And that number has quadrupled in the last 30 years. And I know it, man. I see it.
It's pretty amazing. Guys claim to be young and knowing what's going on and knowing what's right, but you don't even know the statistics of lonely single men. And this just angers me because they try to talk to red pill men. Red pill men, stuff that the Tradcons are talking about right now, like creators before me, like Undead Chronic, Better Bachelor, and all the other Hammerhand and all the other red pill guys have been talking about this for like 5 to 10 years. and they're just now bringing it on and trying to act like they've figured something out. These guys are so unaware because they're in their marriage bubble.
This is so much more than just about sex. This is about people not having friends, people not being able to go out and have a drink with somebody or a cigar with somebody, or I guess that's mostly what I do with my friends, but go out and, play a game of pool or just chat, or it's increasingly rare to have friends these days. And people who don't have friends, I mean, loneliness is such a painful experience.
This pisses me off. Are you just trying not to... I thought you were all about sticking it to people with the truth. Why did you try to use people instead of men? Because everybody knows that women, they have plenty of women friends, and they have lots of men relations, good for them or not. You shouldn't say people or lonely people are suffering. No, it's lonely men. That's what this article is about. That's what the statistics are about. It's about lonely men. It's not people, it's men.
They think that they're the only ones. Obviously, if you're lonely, you feel isolated. But this is a widespread social problem. Huge number of people who have no close relationships.
Yeah, they have no close relationships. Men don't. And the fact is, the fact that you don't know about the 60% of men that are single is mind-blowing. Yeah, 60% of men are single. Between 18 and 30. And a lot of them aren't looking because... Imagine that. Women are in relationships. They're just in relationships with the top 5 to 10% of guys. Or they think they're in a relationship. They're in like pseudo-polygamy. They think that maybe they're monogamous or something. Or they risk trying to get that guy that has 10 other girls. But they want that guy, so they'll try it. And whether they know it or not, they're in pseudo-polygamy. So, those guys, they don't have options. This is what's frustrating.
Especially with a girl. The amount of social engagement with friends has dropped by 20 hours per month over the COVID lockdowns. So you say 5 hours per week. It's still decreasing. And so this professor, Liberty Vittert, says that America desperately needs people to have more babies, but all signs are pointing toward fewer relationships, fewer marriages, and fewer babies. And people are...
Yeah. But the reason that men don't have as many friends is, well, they don't have a father, so they're not... Most men don't have fathers, and part of that masculine leadership is connecting a bond and becoming masculine, and then other kids, their fathers raise them to be masculine, and you form kind of a brotherhood. And also, part of the problem is that women have invaded all the male spaces where people used to bond. Whether it be like vocational classes, like shop and stuff in school, motorcycles, women crash that. Whether it be like bars or pool clubs or whatever. It's all been taken over time, and men get shamed that have purely male spaces. Even in the red pill space, women invade it. It's like men make their own little group and they're okay, and then women's like, oh, I want attention, let's go to this group. And yes, women and men aren't getting married because men aren't getting with women because women's standards are too high. So and that's not even getting into how women act. That's just their standards. And, oh my God.
We're going to mock this.
He's frustrating me.
To me, the saddest part is the crisis faced by so many people of not having any close friends, which is not...
Don't say people, say men. Men not having close friends.
Just a personal problem. Maybe it's that, you've got to work on your personality and your virtue and all those things a little bit. But you can't say it's just a personal problem if it's widespread throughout the whole society. Then it's a political problem.
It's widespread throughout the whole society for men, not people. And this is where he's trying to not offend people. Why the article's about men? Just say men.
Problem, and we need some cultural and political campaign to fix it, because the issue is caused by cultural and political factors as well. That's why it affects so many people.
Yeah, but the problem is culture and people in society don't want to talk about men's issues, and you get attacked for even bringing up male loneliness, the fact that there's not much incentive to be an active participant in society for young men because they don't get anything valuable. Even a wife. They don't get a valuable wife nowadays either. She's probably had like 20 different pogo sticks that she's bounced on, if you know what I mean, before you even think about trying to have a long-term relationship with her.
And this is especially true when it comes to romances that could lead to marriage, that could lead to babies, none of which we're getting right now. People are going to mock this, and they're going to say, you freak, you weirdo pervert, you'd rather have a relationship with a chatbot sitting in your mother's basement all by yourself, getting weird sexual messages from a computer than go out there and have a girlfriend. What a weirdo, what a freak you are. But I see why this is tempting.
It's not that it's tempting and they rather have it over the girlfriend. Maybe there is some guy somewhere who does that. But these guys, these tens of thousands of guys that are paying for this or on the waiting list to pay for it, is doing it because they can't get a girlfriend because women have too high standards. And they can't get a girlfriend and they're afraid of going to jail trying to risk it all for this chick who's probably going to say no anyways. So they'd rather play it safe with the AI chatbot and porn. So you have the wrong premise because you don't realize it's that they have to. Because they have no option of getting with women because average women don't want average men anymore.
In fact, the professor says it too. He says this is a way to assuage the loneliness epidemic. So you're feeling lonely, then you start using weirdo tools like this, and then it seems like a little Band-Aid on the problem of loneliness because you're getting the simulacrum of a relationship. But
yeah, it does help a little bit. It obviously can't replace it, but these, and maybe if he knew that these guys can't get relationships, that would make him not think so harshly about it. But the fact is they can't, so they're doing anything they can to get some sort of that bond with a woman, even if it's not a real woman.
But you know it's not real, so then you become even more lonely, even more isolated, even more encouraged in your weird sexual desires, and the problem only compounds on itself. It snowballs. And I see why it's tempting too. If you have a real girlfriend, she can tell you no. If you have a real girl,
oh my God, these guys are just like the liberals and the feminists. I mean, I know they're feminists, but they're traditional feminists. This is just disgusting. Just because someone wants to make up some of their loneliness with an AI chatbot, even if I don't agree with it or I wouldn't do it, it doesn't mean they're freaks. And it doesn't mean that they don't want to say no to a woman. They don't want to hear no from a woman. Well, no man wants to hear no, but it's not like that's why men are doing it. They're doing it because they can't find a woman that's interested in them.
Girlfriend, she's a human being who you have to respect. It's not just about the satisfaction of your own desires, as weird as they come.
it was never about the satisfaction of just your desires. The fact that they can't get a girlfriend, so they can't even get someone to give that attention. Not like even many girlfriends give that attention in a good way with men down the road anyways. It's because these AI chatbots, the reason why they're so popular is because they give something that men crave that they know is unrealistic, that women can never satisfy. And that's true love and someone who's always going to be there for you, regardless of what the laws say. Regardless of how bad you are, how down bad you are. And that is not a realistic thing for women to do, because women are hypergamous and they will find the next best guy. And no, hypergamy is not a straitjacket like Rollo says. But if you are down real bad, most women nowadays aren't sticking around.
I get why men in Japan, notably, but even in the United States, would turn to porn rather than have a girlfriend. I get why they would turn to these weird sex robots instead of having a girlfriend. In a way, one could more directly satisfy their apparent desires and selfish longings with one of these things that isn't actually human, that doesn't really have a soul or consciousness, over a human being. Totally. And so if you're an atheist, if you're a materialist, if you think that this world is just kind of stuff and that our consciousness, our sense of longing and love and desire and dreams, that's all just an illusion caused by misfiring little electrical impulses in our brains, then there is no argument against this. There is no materialist secular argument against the weirdo porn AI chat robots. There isn't one. And there are many arguments for using them in a culture that's extremely lonely at a time when the highest and only moral maxim is, if it feels good, do it. And the more people indulge those impulses as they are, the worse the society and the individuals are going to get.
This is what's frustrating. If you're going to bring religion into it, bring the fact that women, they are not getting married and creating families young out of school. They're not submitting to men. They are not being virgins at marriage. They're divorcing their husbands, which is against the Bible, for no reason. And not to mention all the other stuff that women break the rules of the Bible. And this has come from someone who is religious, but is not very... I'm a bad Christian. I'm trying to get better. And I need to get better. But it's not in religion or atheist argument. It's the fact that men are not getting access to women. A large amount of men, and we are turning into a polygamous society. And the men who aren't getting anything, everybody should be thanking them that they found some way to satiate that appetite. Because you know how it used to be with that appetite? They would destroy cities and countries and kill those guys that were on top getting all the women and take the women by force. Because polygamous societies are very unstable. That's why men do it. Because they want that connection. If they can't get that connection, then they'll just stay. They'll just do chatbot and porn. And that's why this is dangerous. And the men and the feminists like Michael Knowles and all the women are against it, because if men feel like they're getting treated better and more respected by an AI chatbot and porn than an actual woman, then the money ride is over. They can't get money if they're not getting married, and they're not getting the attention either, which women crave also.
But in a world without God, there's no argument against it. There's no way to stop the psychological, social, and civilizational suicide. Doesn't look good. When you want to look good, though, you got to check out Genucell. Right now, go to Genucell.
Okay, I think that's the end of it. But obviously, he was super against it. Not surprising at all. So, this is just another example of the Tradcons not understanding why it exists, the symptoms for it. So I hope you liked it, and let me know if you like the box where it takes over the full screen with my background in the background. In the full screen where it's just me and the video, or when the box is smaller with the background showing. Let me know, and let me know if you like the video. Please like and subscribe. Road to 50K so I can start live streaming. And I'll see you guys in the next one.